What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Afterburner. He's Mikey. I'm Jordan. We're from In the Dome. Here to break down the semi-snooze fest. Detroit Red Wings versus the Calgary Flames. Kind of make a push at the end. Kind of make it interesting. Dome was buzzing there for a bit, but fall short at the end.
Cam Talbot effect.
Can't beat him. Can't beat Cam Talbot.
It was the 5-year reunion of his goalie fight, so he was
the very same day of. I guess he deserved a win, eh? Yeah. Or just for that.
That's right.
Mike Smith.
Yeah.
Show is brought to you by Bet365, the world's largest sports betting platform. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Download the app today. Use code NATION when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Your super charity chat partner this season is Youth Centers of Calgary. If you want to make sure your question or comments gets on the show, hit us with a super chat. Throw a little donation in there. All the proceeds from the super chat will go to the Youth Centers of Calgary, a place where kids are welcomed and accepted as they are. A place to get a break from the chronic stress that is life. Oh. If you want to get your takes on the show, throw a little money at us. We'll put it up.
Pinder's lamenting. Pinder's missing Mike Smith in the comments, eh?
Jeez. So a lot of hype coming into this one. Obviously, the big trade Thursday night. The Lions look fresh and new. We just did a segment on the trade breakdown today. If you guys are interested, check that out. Should be up Monday. But Mikey, in a nutshell, break down the trade for us. Your thoughts on it?
Well, I think everybody was pretty excited tonight, right? See a couple new guys. I think, they had Connie on in the intermission there. I think he kind of summed it up, right? That's an opportunistic trade. Obviously, the vibes for 60 might not be, hey, they could have used some of Pelt's. They could have used some of that energy tonight. I'm just gonna say
100%. They could have used some of Kuzmenko's super fast stick handling, slicing and dicing the ice, coming up the ice, bringing them off the post. But
opportunistic trade for a couple guys who, they looked okay tonight. I thought Frost had a pretty good game. He made some slick plays. Farabee had some touches early on. Didn't notice him that much, later in the game, but I thought he still played well. But yeah, a couple interesting guys coming into town. But like Connie said, that's an opportunistic trade. I know it seemed maybe kind of like a bigger trade in our little Flames world than maybe to the rest of the league. These are two guys who, kind of middle six type guys and not going to move the needle probably every single night, but two solid younger players coming in. So it was good to get a first look at him tonight. Like I said, I thought Frost, Frost, you can see he's got that skill, man. You can see he's got some good playmaking ability.
He's got some pop for sure. Out of the two players, I think Farabee is a more well-recognized name, but I know Connie said the Flames have been in on Frost going back to before the season started. Out of the two players, who do you think has more upside?
Probably Farabee. You look at some of his 5-on-5 goal scoring ability over the last 4 years. He could be a guy that pops off here. So probably upside Farabee in terms of like all around well-rounded player. You're probably going Frost, and I mean Frost was their target. It sounds like so. The Flames really like this kid.
He was pretty good on the faceoff dot tonight. He looked good on the power play.
Yeah, he did. I would have liked to have seen Farabee on the power play instead of Backlund. That would have been nice. Hey.
I do not understand the purpose of Backlund on the power play whatsoever, but hopefully that is an adjustment. We'll see.
We need a goal late in the game. You got a power play. Backlund's out there. Barry's out there. Farabee's sitting on the bench. I don't get that. I'm sorry.
The Wings are kind of on a bit of a hot streak right now. I didn't really realize that. What did they win?
They're playing freaking Todd McClellan, boring, make me want to rip my eyes out hockey is what they're playing, man.
You mix that with the exact same type of hockey under Huska and low scoring event. Kind of a boring game. The Flames came out buzzing, I think, with all the extra excitement. But
yeah, they kind of looked a little like too excited. Maybe it was kind of like, oh, we're jacked up, and they kind of couldn't channel it into anything. And then they couldn't beat Talbot. Coronado had a few great chances off the hopper there, but I don't know, maybe a bit too jacked up, maybe a bit too like maybe Hubie, maybe everybody's just a little bit too sad about old Peltz being gone. They're still kind of wiping their eyes, wiping their tears away. Maybe that was maybe everybody was a little bummed out tonight, eh?
Everybody likes to talk about who won the trade, who lost the trade. The biggest loser in the trade is Jonathan Huberdeau, let's be honest.
Yeah, he's crying himself to sleep tonight, probably.
Poor guy. Poor guy. What did you think before we get into the first period here? Just the lineup decisions. Obviously, they're trying Fabry with Cutter and Hubert on the top line, and then Frost centering Sharon Go with Pospisil. What do you think of those renditions?
Yeah, I think we all were interested to kind of get a look at Farabee specifically with Huberdeau. I think their games probably complement each other. If you look at Farabee, how he creates offense over the past few years, he's very good off the rush. That's something the Flames have lacked in terms of a partner for Huberdeau over the past few years. We've kind of seen that. That's kind of his game. He hasn't really had a complementary player in that respect. So I like that line a little bit. I know Kadri was kind of frustrating to watch tonight. He was pulling his I'm going to dig through the whole team maybe a little bit too often. He
scores the power play goal, but the missed shot on the second power play there.
Well,
he had a couple
plays at the blue line. Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah. 2-on-1s.
So I like the Huberdeau Farabee. I like the Huberdeau Farabee combo. I'm not so sure about Kadri there. I did like Frost with Sharangovich, even though. Is Igor gonna pull his? What is Igor got to? Do we have to have Daryl come off the farm and get a cattle prod in this guy's ass, or what's going on here?
Does he need to hit the gym or something? If he was a little bit more hard nosed, if he had a bit more nose of the net like Coronado does, you think he'd be able to pot a few more goals. But
yeah, bro, bear down.
I get it. Your nickname's a shark. You want to just wait in the weeds until your opportunity, but sometimes you got to fucking create your own.
Yeah, well, dude, that one, he had that one chance where he freaking puts that wide open net into dude, you got to bear down on that and maybe make a stronger play there. I do like Frost with a shooter. I think it's time to see a different look with Matt Coronado.
Yes,
I know that line has been a dominant 5-on-5 line. I know he's coming off a really great game, but it just feels like now that you have Frost here, a centerman who can make plays, who maybe has a little bit more of offensive upside, who has some creativity. I'd kind of like to see maybe some sort of mix with old Frosty and Coronado going on. But I didn't mind him and Sharangovich. I thought they had some looks. I was just kind of annoyed with Igor's overall game. I know Mike, hopefully Gould isn't listening. Gould's going to come after me for ripping on Sharangovich. But, buddy, when's this guy going to wake up?
Their thing, too, this is what the second 1-goal game from the Flames the last 3 games. Bill Peters was a great job of doing this. He used to throw the lines in the blender. Even Daryl Sutter knew when to do it too. I think Peters had the most success with it, but Huska just does not like to throw the lines in the blender at all. Tonight would have been a great night. Second period, there's not much happening. You're still struggling to score. You got these new guys in there. Let's see some other looks. I don't know. I think we got.
Well, yeah, I think even early on the game, I think, like you said, Bill Peters had a good kind of sense for this, who was kind of going in a game. And I'm not a huge fan of the Brent Sutter line blender where it's holy shit, what are these batshit insane combinations? We don't need to see these. But I do think, in games when some guys are hot and some guys are feeling it and knowing when to, move guys up and down the lineup, I think we need to see a little bit more of that. Tonight, in the third period, the Flames, we need a goal. Let's load up a line. Let's put Coronado with Hubert. Let's try something here. So I would like to see a little bit more of that. And overall, I think Coronado, I think it's time to move on from, maybe not move on, but it's I'd like to see that guy, because when he's on the ice, right, especially Coronado, to open the game. Yeah, he's every time he touches the puck, it's almost something dangerous is happening. So if you put him with maybe some more skilled offensive guys, which, Backlund and Coleman are great at what they do, but, scoring goals isn't necessarily their thing. So I'd like to see that changed up a little bit.
All right. Booster Juice is the proud puck partner of the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament, January 23rd to 25th. That's long gone, but they were the partners. There's Nation of Flames Nation, powered by Juicer Boost. Visit the location today to refuel, refresh, and re-energize, or download their new Booster Rewards app to earn, order, and enjoy. Your favorite booster juice still the peanut butter banana?
I think
I know you haven't been to a mall since 1998.
The last time I remember booster juice is my sister barfed up an orange one right back into the cup, and it looked the exact same as when it went in. So,
bro, you're not supposed to be talking shit.
No, I'm just saying.
All right. First period, the dome is buzzing. The Flames are off to an energetic start. Coronado was buzzing. We got a highlight here, Yasmin, of the Coronado post. Let's throw that up in there.
Yeah, the old doinker off the post. The Flames hit, what did they hit? 3 posts tonight? Was it 3 or 2? But
at least 2.
Yeah. So you get goalie time. That's a tough one. Like I thought they played such a struggle to score goals, man.
That was a similar setup and position from where he sniped the other night, which ended up going off of Hulk Coleman. I guess they gave credit to, hey, but man, Coronado has looked good lately. The guy can put the puck in the back of the net. He was going today.
Yeah, and he's setting himself up in good shooting positions. Like right there, he just waits, and just changes the angle a little bit. Man, he's good. I'd like to see, you know what? I'd like to really see him play with Morgan. Like if you Sharangovich, Frost, Coronado, hell yeah, sign me up.
Farabee got a chance early on in the first period. I think, Yasmin, do we have this one? He's a breakaway chance. There's a nice defensive play by the Red Wings to stymie that. But, geez, he almost had his first goal pretty early on.
Yeah, he had a couple nice touches early on, maybe a bit quieter in the second and third. Would have been nice to see him get, kind of bury that one, get some confidence going early. But that's what you can see. He's a good player in transition, man. Like he can speed up the ice and great scoring off the rush, which this team, holy shit, do we desperately need that?
The Red Wings score early. Is this? No, yes, the Ducks scored early on Wolf in their game as well, and then Wolf shuts it down. Let's take a look at the Larkin goal here. This one I don't really fault Wolf on. It's just
it's a tough play, and I mean, not to like be picky on Sharangovich, but you kind of wish he makes a stronger play there. Use your body, man. Use your stick. Maybe, you know what? I think he needs to hit the gym, bro. That's a tough. He gets a tough pass there, but he needs to probably still make a stronger play. They had a tough time clearing the zone tonight a little bit.
Larkin, just a snipe show. He's turned out to be a bit of a Flames killer. It seems like he scores on us every time we play these guys.
Yeah, I don't think he'd fall Wolf on that one. Like he's right in the slot. That's a really tough. It goes under his arm, but still, that's freaking tough, dude.
Well, it sucks when you're down that early, especially you're out shooting the Duck or the Red Wings 5-0 and 6-1.
Exactly.
Second shot on net. You don't really fault them, but then you're like, okay, you got to shut the door now. We got the Edmondson goal queued up here. Let's put that up. This one he
wants back.
He wants back, so that's tough.
2 goals tonight. One of them he maybe should have had, but how many saves did he make? Following that, he makes a huge breakaway save. He made a couple huge 2-on-1 saves. Like that's what is probably to me the most impressive part of his game is that, goalies are always going to let in goals and you're always going to have bad goals, but the best goalies in the league, when you need a save, like there's at a certain point, they absolutely shut it down. And so far as a rookie, named rookie of the month this month, 7-3 this month, 7-3. As a rookie goalie, he's turning into one of the most clutch performers in the entire league. So, hey, one bad goal, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. And like you said, it's how you respond. It's how you go back to the drawing board. And you'll hear this from broadcasters a lot, especially with younger players, younger goaltenders. How do they respond? So does he kind of fall apart after he lets in that semi-weak goal, makes it 2-0, but no. He even makes a great 2-on-1 save late in the first period. We also got this highlight. Let's check this one out.
Great anticipation too. Like he's kind of deep in his net there, and he still makes the glove save. He's so good. And like you said, that's the thing that really separates the great goalie. Like this was kind of the book on Kipper, right? Not to be like Kevin Bieksa and be like, oh, he's the next Mika Kiprusoff 4 months into his career, but that was Kipper's MO, right? If he gave up a bad one, you knew he wasn't going to give up the next one. And that was a pretty common theme throughout his career. And that's a theme of all the great goalies.
Well, you love to see it. Like he's starting to get a lot of recognition throughout the league. I'm starting to see his names, even on non-Flames games nights, his name's getting recognized and thrown out there in different situations. Like you said, Bieksa, they have Conroy on in the first intermission. Bieksa straight up asked him, is he the next Mika Kiprusoff? Conroy says he's definitely on the way to being the next Mika Kiprusoff. If anybody would know, it's Conroy.
Listen, that's kind of like too much of a question. Like, is he the next greatest goaltender in franchise history? But you're goddamn right he is. And Connie knows it. Everybody knows it. He is the next Mika Kiprusoff.
Not too much to take from the Connie intermission interview. I think there's more so to take from his presser post-trade the other night. But anything from that discussion the other night from what Conroy had to say about what he's trying to do for this team that stood out for you going down the playoff stretch here?
Yeah, you know what? I think for me as a proponent of the tank and as somebody who is always fretting and hand-wringing and clenching my butthole about the future of this team and the direction they're going to go.
Just cutting diamonds over there.
Yeah, that's right. That's all that's going on. Like anytime there's a move, you're always kind of like, oh, like, are we going to screw this up? Are we trying to expedite the rebuild? Are we going in too fast? But, you know, after listening to the things Conroy said specifically that, you know, this was an opportunistic move and that he also added on, we're still going to be looking to do things like take on salary or be a broker in a deal closer to the trade deadline. And just his overall vision for the team that he continues to articulate, you know, that kind of puts your mind at ease a little bit if you're freaking out about the Flames kind of trying to accelerate the rebuild or pretend it's like a 1 year and done. Well, 6 months of a rebuild. We're good. We're going to go back all in. So I don't know. Every time I hear Conroy speak, I always leave.
He's locked in.
Feeling reassured, and he's locked in, bro.
He's like the opposite of Brad Living. You feel more confused after you hear Brad Living than you did before, whereas Connie just creates crystal clarity on what his vision is and how he's executing it. If you're in the chat, what was your take on the trade? Did the Flames win? I polled the fan base on Twitter, had about 500 votes. 75% of Flames fans feel that Connie did some cooking on this trade. Time will tell. We'll see how these players turn out. We'll see how Jacob Pelletier turns out. We'll see who the second turns into. It's going to be one of those things you want to track for, you know, year over year here to see how it really plays out. But yeah, if you're listening and you're in the chat, like, let us know. Like, do you think this was a stellar move? It seems to be kind of the consensus.
Yeah, I don't know, other than being sad about Pelletier, which I'm still sad, dude. Eric Francis wrote an article about like how he's crying, and like I read it earlier today.
Wow,
and I'm
Huberto said he was like bawling in his arms after the game.
He's like, I went out to the car and just sat in my car. I was just like, oh my Lord. It's like we won the trade, but at what cost?
Could you imagine the life of Pelletier going from Calgary, just like a real supportive fan base, and like going to the city of brotherly love? Wow. You got to think that's going to be a bit of a culture shock for Pelletier.
Well, how do you think Frost and Farabee felt getting off the plane? I guess they got here yesterday, but it's minus, I think it's supposed to be minus 30 on Tuesday. And yeah, welcome to Calgary, guys. It's freaking blizzarding and minus 30. Sure, they're loving that.
All right, Yeti was taking good care of us at the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament with mugs, coolers, chairs, blankets, and a tent. Crave the cold and extend your ice time with hard-hitting gear that's built to honor the toughest sport on earth. Hashtag crave the cold. Hashtag built for the wild. Second period, no goals in the second period is pretty uneventful hockey. Flames are pushing a bit. There's a good shift there from the Frost line. We got this queued up. The Sharon Govich had a brilliant opportunity to bury.
Yeah, the friggin' wide open net that he just puts into like 219 right there, bud. What are you doing? Yeah, like that's a play that, you know, and I get it. He's in a slump. Like shit's not going your way, but dude, like at some point, that's the thing with Sharon Govich. Like at some point, he's gonna have to. Like I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's. You know, maybe he rushed back from injury. Maybe there's still a lingering thing. But, I mean, the dude, this team's relying on him. If they're going to be making a playoff push.
This guy needs to be scoring goals, dude.
Right? And he is supposed to be, he's supposed to be scoring goals. And he's supposed to be like the next, right? He's one of these first guys, one of Conroy's first acquisitions who, you know, came in last year, had a good year, and they rewarded him with a huge deal.
How many goals did he score last year?
You have 31 last year?
He did hit 30, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, buddy, like, we need to, like, we believed in you. We rewarded you. Yeah. We paid you. Let's go here. Like,
well,
more
it's funny.
Less Lego or something, bro.
More gym time, less Lego
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
The last afterburner we did, I think we made a point of this of Huberto passing when he had a wide open net. And it's just like you can't fuck around. Like they're coming out of crunch time now. You're still in a playoff hunt. Your GM just goes out and says he's got to reward this group for the work they've done so far. Makes a bit of an addition to the team. And like it's plays like this, man, where if you're missing these, that's going to be the difference between getting into the playoffs and not. So there's absolutely zero room for this to continue for Sharon Govich. He's got to figure his shit out.
Yeah, Mike says Sharon Govich has been at the Backlund School of Shooting, eh?
Oh, man. Well, no, Backlund would have shot a little bit more wide than that.
Yeah, it probably would have been like a few feet more. It would have been flubbed in the corner probably if Backlund had ripped that one.
Again,
Flames do dominate the second period, though. I think 5-on-5. Well, it was all 5-on-5. They didn't get a power play till the third, but high danger scoring chances, natural stat trick had him at 8-0 Flames. So you got to find a way to bury one there. Because again, Wolfie, he's keeping you in it. You know what? He made one mistake tonight and shut it down from there on out.
He gives you a chance to win. Kept
Gives you
the
a chance
2 goals
to win every single night, man.
Yeah. If the Flames find a way to score that second goal and force overtime, it can go either way. Could easily came out of that with a win, but again, these guys got to figure out a way to score goals. Not too much happened in the second. My question to you, though, we did bring up Huberto. We made some connections, some correlations between Huberto's outstanding December really coincided with Pelletier being on the team. What do you predict that Huberto will he be able to continue on his pace, on his play without Pelletier, or is he really the secret sauce? Seriously.
No, I know. I don't know. Like, I feel like he might need a Pelletier teddy bear or something. Like, can we get some sort of AI like Huberto Pelletier, like get him a teddy bear that's like his little buddy who can like give him affirmations before, if he's on the bench and he's like bummed out because he just made a terrible pass, he can just like press it and it's just like, "You're my best friend, Jonathan. Mwah. You're my best friend." Mwah. That's what maybe what they need, you know? Well, you know what? I think for Huberto, like, I think the Flames kind of missed an opportunity when he was going to put him with some other players. Like, I know him and Kadri, you know, like they're sticking with that. I still feel like that's not a combination that's working. Like, and they were good tonight. I'm not going to shit on them, but it just feels like there's more you can juice out of that if you put him, like when Zary comes back, if you put him with a guy like Zary, maybe even a guy like Frost, maybe a guy like Coronado on his wing. It just feels like, you know, he needs somebody who, like, because that's the thing with Kadri is he's not particularly great at using his line mates, right? Like, he's a good player. He plays hard. He scores big goals.
Well, hey,
but
when Zary gets back, I mean, the Zary possible Kadri line was awesome last season.
Yeah, it was great.
So, I mean, you could easily you can go back to that and try it if you wanted to maybe take a look at Coronado with somebody else and Huberto, maybe one of the new guys.
Yeah, but he's kind of last time he scored was against Buffalo like 5 or 6 games ago. He's got 1 assist in the last 5. Yeah.
Hubie?
Yeah. Kind of probably got to pick it up a little bit here.
The something worth noting in the second intermission, Elliott is reporting that the Flames have made it known to teams in the league. They told teams they're not going to be trading Rasmus Andersson, Mackenzie Weegar, or Nazem Kadri this season. What's your take on this? Is it even too early to make a statement? I get it. You want to show faith in the group. You want to, you know, put your support behind them and let them know that you're supporting them in this playoff push. But what if they falter and fall in the standings in February? Is that just something you say now and then?
Well, it's not. You probably don't say the opposite, right? Like, hey, like we're going to give these guys away. It's open season, man. Like, come and get them. I can't remember. Like, I feel like this was kind of out there, maybe more so with like Hannafin and Lindholm, that it was like last year. And these guys have contracts, so it's obviously different. Where it was kind of like, yeah, we're going to try to sign them. Like, that was the public, you know, like that's what you're going to put out. If you're Craig Conroy, you're not going to be, you're playing poker here. You're not going to be showing your hand. I obviously think the Flames fully intend to keep Weegar and Kadri and Anderson for sure. I don't think anybody expects them to does anyone actually expect them to trade any of those guys?
What, this season or ever?
I mean,
realistically,
realistically both, but definitely not this season. I mean, Uyghur for sure. Anderson, they apparently really want to sign. Kadri, Elliott kind of made it sound like teams have been asking about Kadri. And, from my perspective,
he straight up did say, yeah.
He did. If teams are asking about Kadri, you have to freaking listen, man. But like you said, maybe that kind of changes a little bit if they go on a little bit of slide here, because you know what, even though like they could very well make a push, it was a really good opportunity tonight to kind of separate a little bit and maybe keep up with LA.
Yep. They're
still holding, like, realistically, they're still being held together by Dustin Wolf being mostly brilliant on any given night. Like, they threw it out there today that he, like I said, won Rookie of the Month. Like, great stats, 7-3-0. Unbelievable performance. And then you look under the hood a little bit. Evolving Hockey has the Flames like 27th in expected goals against per 60 minutes in the month of January.
So it's not a defensive structure that is keeping the goals against them.
Yeah, it's not like they're just like still playing some great hockey. Like, it's still, and I mean, they play okay and they work their balls off, but it's still mostly just Wolf, right? So, if he starts to struggle, if he has an off week, if he starts to crack just like a little bit, which you kind of maybe expect from a guy who's a rookie, maybe not because he's a freak. He's absolutely locked in. He's an animal. But, if that does happen and they tumble down the standings, because I mean, how far are we from being like in a lotto position? Like, it's far enough that it's not going to happen, but it's not far enough where like a bad month could totally put you out of that conversation.
Well, if you go on a skid, like, what is it? The point differential was 5 points the other day. I mean, there's 3 paths to the playoff spot, right? You could catch Colorado.
Yeah.
Then they just traded Rantanen, so who knows what the future holds for these guys. You could catch LA. They're faltering. I don't know what the hell is happening in Vancouver. We'll see how they rebound after trading to Miller to the Rangers, but and there's not a lot of people breathing down your neck. It's just like the Flames, if they continue doing what they've done, like they have a legitimate shot to make the playoffs.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
There's more than one path.
And I think there's really only that path. Like, I don't know I guess LA has been really stumbling, so maybe, but I don't know if I see that. But I mean, ultimately, I don't think these guys are going to be traded to you. Like, I would be absolutely shocked unless the Flames absolutely and maybe that's something you revisited the draft if you were going to make that move. If you're Conroy, we know the Flames want to keep these guys. Like, they wanted to keep Lindholm. It sounds like if they had their way, all the old boys would still be here. So
they're 5 points back of a bottom 10 lottery.
Yeah,
there's still so much hockey to be played.
But at the same time, like, I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell those guys are probably getting traded. And I know Tank Flames Twitter Team Tank was very upset, probably in shambles when they heard Elliott say they don't want to trade Anderson at all.
Yes.
And I mean, I understand it, right? Like, if it were me, I'd be shopping them, but
everybody was in shambles the next day after the trade because there was reports. Whose show was this again? That the Flames were really high on Rantanen, might take a stab at him in free agency, and they're definitely going to resign Anderson. This is Nick
Kiprios' show. Leslie was on there. This kind of got out of control because Leslie just mentioned that they have cap space and maybe they'd try to use it. Maybe Rantanen's the guy they look at, and everybody kind of took that and ran with it as like, holy shit, they're gonna go all in. And it's like, I don't really think that's what he was saying at all. But yeah, I know. I think the Rasmus Anderson debate will rage on. You know what I would do if it were me? I would look at moving him, even though I love the guy, because if we're not going to be tanking, if we're not going to be picking in the top 5, top 10, how are we going to get elite forwards on this team? Well, you're going to have to probably do it through the means of a trade, most likely, whether that's trading for a player like that or trading for picks that you can just select a player with that. So I don't know.
Origin Malt and Brewing Co. uses barley grown on their own local family farm to offer truly sustainable grain to grass experience. 5 generations of farming means that you not only get internationally chosen ingredients, but also roots that run deep in the community. They believe it's all about blending tradition and innovation for a truly unique experience that proudly celebrates Alberta farms. We grow beer, Origin Malting and Brewing Co. Let's get to the third period. Like, you're sitting there in the intermission, you're just like, okay, Flames are in a wild card race currently. The GM goes out and makes a trade. There's all this buzz. You've had 0 goals and nothing to show for it going to the third. This is the biggest period of the season, is it not? Biggest period of the season. What are these guys made of? What do they got? So Wolf sets the tone early. We got a Wolf save here in the third. Keeping it tight.
Lets it go.
Was this the icing play where?
Yeah, I know. I always forget. He's always scores on us too. Anyways, Wolf had a
door, man.
Yeah, Wolf had a few key saves early in the third.
I think the Wings outchanced them like 5-2, high danger in the third period in all situations. So, dude, he had to be super sharp, and he was. And he holds the fort down, and it's just like, this kid is a freaking brick wall, man. It's insane.
You finally get a power play, and you're sitting there like, okay, well, this is an absolute, you have to score. If you don't score on this power play, game's probably over. I thought the power play looked pretty decent. Like we talked about, Frost looked pretty good, moving around, trying lots of cross-ice passes. We'll see how long that continues.
A cross-ice pass on the power play? What are you talking about, bro?
That's just because he comes from another team that does it. So
yeah, he comes here and they're like, hey, bro, like, what are you making cross-ice? They probably got scolded for that. Stop making cross-ice passes in a Calgary power play. We just lob it from the point, bro.
We got to pass into each other's skates, and then we got to stick handle and stationary before we move it to the next guy. That's what we do here. Anyways, yeah, power play looked decent. Kadri, say what you want about Kadri, man, but he's been scoring. He's been scoring some pretty clutch goals for at least the last month and a half, keeping these guys in the race. Let's take a look at the Kadri goal here. Nice work by Coleman to set it up, draw the penalty, or Coronado drew a penalty, but
yeah, Coleman's been really good.
That's a nice goal, dude.
10th third period goal. That's a great goal, dude. The patience. It's an incredible goal. That's just high skill and high IQ right there. Right? He's just holds on, change the angle, no stick handle, screen.
Yeah, waits for traffic. Snipe show.
Yeah, that's a great goal by Naz. And I mean, that's right. That's what he does. Like you said, even though he's super frustrating to watch, he makes about 10 times a game. He makes those, I'm going to dangle through the whole team turnover, but he comes in clutch. That's why he's a champ.
That woke the Dome up, which was nice. I mean, the Dome's a funny place because if there's excitement in the game, then there's excitement in the crowd. But a lot of times,
real fast sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of times, if it's a bit of a snoozer, it gets pretty quiet in there.
It's also like Calgary, like with the nature of the economy and people who come to work in Calgary, there's a lot of. Anytime you go to a game and there's like an opposing team, like especially from like kind of the Ontario area,
and the Red Wings always have a good draw. I mean, all the original 6 teams do, but
yeah. So there's a lot of Red Wings fans, and there's two octopi thrown on the ice. That was kind of sick. But I do okay, bro. The Flames guy, the dude who collected it, he can't psych the. I didn't appreciate the. He gave the octopus like a little bit. Yeah, bro. Okay, like bro. No, forbidden. No, that's their hype up shit. Don't do that, man. No, that hyped the Red Wings fans up.
You know what the guy should have done? Brought out a little bit of gasoline and a lighter and fucking torched that thing. Could you imagine? The crowd went nuts. We probably would have scored right after that.
Yeah, bro, you can't do that. You can't flaunt their thing on our home barn.
No, you got to gasoline and torch that thing next.
Yeah, that's right.
So the Flames, after the place is buzzing, and it's like, hey, we got a chance here to tie this thing up. They go on another power play. I think we have a Frost highlight for this power play. There's really wasn't really much other than this play, but yeah, Frost was.
Of course, there was. It was like they threw Backlund and Tyson Barrie out there. What do you mean? Yeah,
you can see some of the skill on display. Eh?
Yeah, you can see that for sure. And that's kind of the scouting report from some Philly fans is like, yeah, he shows flashes of high skill and it's just kind of maybe a little bit inconsistent. But you can definitely see he's a creative player. He's got hands. He he scored some between the legs goals if you watch some of his highlights. So, he's kind of he's got some flash to his game.
What do you think about trying Coronado with this guy?
Fuck yeah. Excuse my language, but that's exactly what I think. Like, I mean, I didn't mind him with Sharangovich tonight. Thought they had a few nice plays. But a playmaking center with a skill to shooters Matt Coronado is, and the kind of player Matt Coronado is, I think that would be a nice fit. Morgan Frost had 6 shot attempts tonight, 3 scoring chances, 1 high danger. So a pretty good night for him individually.
The PP2 of back, like, what is the point of Backlund on the power play, man? Like, plus you, like you mentioned, with 2 other defensemen, Backlund with 2D.
Bro, Backlund with
PP2.
Barry. What are we doing? Why? There's 2 defensemen and Backlund. Like, you may as well be playing shorthanded at that point. No offense to Backlund, but bro, like, why wasn't Farabee? That's what I don't understand. You know what? We got these shiny new toys here. Let's see them. No, Backlund on the power play.
Yes, Backlund ever scored 20 goals in a season?
Oh yeah,
he must have 1 or 2 in his long tenure.
Yeah, he
put you on the spot.
And I'm a big Backlund guy. I think he scored like 20, like 15, 16, 17. He would have scored 20 goals. I think he had one in 2018 or 18, 19. He did too, for sure.
Wings tonight with an empty netter. I don't think the Flames really did much with the net empty tonight. Their best chance really to tie the game was on that second power play, which obviously didn't work. And so that's pretty much the game for you. Platinum Mitsubishi. We'll look at the road ahead here. It's powered by Platinum Mitsubishi, home with a 7-seat Outlander PHEV, Canada's best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV, combining more than a century of automotive innovation and an industry-leading 10-star, 160K powertrain warranty. All Mitsubishi vehicles offer the comfort and craftsmanship you and your family deserve. Check out Platinum Mitsubishi's online storefront at mitsu.ca or visit in person at 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast to experience their state-of-the-art showroom, award-winning sales team, and decorated vehicle lineup, including the Outlander, RVR, and Eclipse Cross. Locally owned by a family of Flames fans, Platinum Mitsubishi has been serving Calgarians for more than 2 decades and is proud to support Afterburner. All right, man. Let's take a look at the road ahead here. What do we got going on?
Little back-to-back. Boys are heading out in a nice, I guess they're probably leaving tonight, eh? Little -30 plane ride out to Seattle.
We usually have a sweet little graphic for this. Jasmine, we got anything for the road ahead? Upcoming games?
Not tonight, sorry.
Not tonight?
RJ slacking.
No production value. Sunday we got Seattle. We get the Leafs coming to town. Is Brad going to be in the building? Please tell me Brad isn't coming. Please tell me Brad's not going to be in the building, stinking up the joint with his Boston pizza farts.
Just a Hawaiian Boston pizza coma.
I got to tell you, if you're going to the game, please, if you're going to the game on Tuesday, they play the Leafs on Tuesday, is it?
Dude, it's gonna be all
just the worst. That's my least favorite. If it's Oilers fans, at least, like, you know what, we share Providence. I get it. That's gonna be the worst, man. We got to beat the Leafs. We always have to beat Brad. And then we got the Avs on Thursday, and then Seattle again on Saturday at home, and then we got 2 weeks off, man.
We touched on something in the last episode. Four Nations Faceoff, I guess it's called. To cheer or not to cheer for Team Canada, you've made it very well known where you stand, where your loyalties are. Will you ever cheer for Connor McNeckbeard? Will it ever happen?
No, I mean, unless he leaves the Oilers, unless he ditches the Oilers in a flame of glory and totally royally screws them over and pleases me in that way, then no, I have nothing but hatred for this man.
I think it's going to be an interesting psychological sport experiment because I'm in the same boat going into this thing. I hate Connor McDavid to the nth degree. Cannot, will not. We're doing the Green Eggs and Ham. Will not cheer for him.
Will not cheer for him on a plane. I will not cheer for him on a train. I'm not going to do it.
But it'll be interesting because I say that now. I'm just curious if I can really hold through. Like, let's say the tournament is actually friggin' entertaining as all hell. You're invested. You get into it. Maybe Uyghur gets on the team, and they're in a gold
they
medal
probably watch
game.
Uyghur play tonight, and they're like, "No way, man."
I'm just curious if I'll be able to hold out.
Yeah, you will, dude. You see that guy's face? Come on. Okay, listen. Like the only time I've even been
what was he whining about this week?
He's whining about the time, the game start time.
Give me a fucking break, dude.
All he does is whine, bro.
All this guy does is just whine. Just a whiner.
I mean, that's a valid. They always change the start time for the Leafs, eh? I don't like that, but
so it's this the population over there. If they want to get max viewership, it makes sense dollar-wise, doesn't it, from a business perspective? But if you're in the chat, let us know. Will you be cheering for Team Canada and Connor McNeckbeard in February? Or is that just something you say for the Olympics? I've seen different answers on this, but genuinely curious. You mentioned we play Seattle tomorrow. Bet365, the world's largest sports betting platform. Open an account with Bet365 today. Bet on a huge range of markets. Download the app today. Use code NATION when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with Bet365. Jared McCann, is he? I guess him or is it? What's the good Burns? Bernier? No. What's the young guy?
Oh, Matty Beniers.
Beniers, yeah. Beniers seems to score goals on us. The safe bet, I think, would be either McCann or Beniers to score against the Flames tomorrow night.
Maybe a little Jordan Everly.
Oh yeah, we're in Seattle, man. That's a tough 24 hours, eh?
Yeah, I know. They're probably on the plane right now. It's gonna be a tough turnaround. I feel like we generally.
I don't know. He can't FaceTime on the plane, can he?
Well, dude, Peltz is still in Alberta. Apparently, be working out a visa situation.
Can we just hire Pelche as?
Yeah, just as the hype man. I think.
We just need a Huberto's hype man. We need to
I
get
think
our max dollars for that.
You know what, dude? Okay, like here's my idea. He's an RFA this summer. Pelche, let's offer sheet him. It's worth it. It's worth it to keep the bromance going. It's worth it for the vibes.
Connie's going to realize when Huberto plummets back down to
when Huberto was in a deep depression, and he's like did he have no points in December last year? And he's like having no points in like February or March. It's gonna be like, man, I really need to get that Pelche kid back.
Reunite the Friends connection.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some chat here. Yasmin, do we have any super chats we gotta throw in there?
I don't believe so.
Nobody's donating to the youth center kids? Come on. Jeez.
Maybe Huberto will ask for a trade to Philly. Can you imagine? Hey, that'd be great.
You know what? Hey, that's
maybe Connie's playing 5D chess right now. Eh? He's like, I'm gonna send his buddy, and then he'll request a trade, and then we can facilitate.
I like it, Gentle Maniac. I think you're onto something. KQ like says that. Cooley and Net. We talked about this last week. Do you think we see Cooley once?
I think it'd be nice to reward the guy. He's playing so well. I feel like they probably won't unless it was like maybe later in the season and maybe they're out of it a little bit. But yeah, I don't really think so. I don't think so. I saw Ken was asking about if the Flames are actually going to take a run at signing Mikko Rantanen this summer. I really don't see it. Well, why does Mikko Rantanen want to come to Calgary? He can go anywhere he wants, unless he's got his best friend.
It's the Rocky. It's the Colorado of Canada.
Yeah, he just can't get enough of the altitude.
They're both next to the Rockies. He used to play in high altitude.
Yeah, he's got his buddy Kadri here. Listen, okay. How about this plan? How about we keep Kadri to sign Rantanen and Makar in a couple years?
Oh, yes, and Makar, yeah, okay.
We just reunite the old Avs championship team. How about that, eh?
60 chess.
I like that. I did see one question here I just wanted to get to, but I can't find it because it's way, way back. I think it was a question about if it was justified if Coronado's hat trick was taken away. I don't know if it was, man.
You know what?
That's chintzy to me.
I was going to go back and take a look at that, but I forgot to do that. I don't know. There was no part of me when I saw the goal that was like, "Ooh, did that go in off Coleman?" I just didn't. But you know what? I trust that the NHL. Obviously, they must have looked. They must. Yeah, they must have. They know what they're doing, right? Right?
They don't know what they're doing at all. I saw a comment about Zane here. I'm just going to pop up. Because St. Prek, I don't know if you were
5 points tonight
tonight, but he had 4 points tonight. He was named Defenseman of the Month this past month. 21 points in 10 games. Had a goal and 3 assists tonight. Set up the game-winning goal. Yeah, he could be on the team next year. I don't know if he'll make the team, but it'd be really exciting to see him.
Ken,
that'd be pretty sweet.
Ken with the big $5. Please boot the Soilers fan, the Coilers fan, El Grando.
That's the best $5 ever spent.
You know, as much as I hate the Oilers, I don't know if I would ever go on an Oilers chat just to be a troll.
Yeah, that's the thing is they have no.
That's the difference between Flames fans and Oilers
exactly.
fans. We have a life outside of our hatred. We don't need to waste.
Well, I mean, it's a long. These Oilers fans. It's colder up there than it is here. Like it's a long night in your mom's basement. It's like I don't really have anything else to do. I'm gonna go troll some Flames fans. It's like that Don Draper meme where that guy is like, "I feel bad for you," and Don Draper is like, "I don't think about you at all." That's us. We're just like, I don't think about Oilers fans.
All right, we got a short time for a few more. Anybody got comments, any questions we want to get to before we wrap this baby up?
Pinder's first comment that he misses Mike Smith kind of like sent me into a Mike Smith tizzy because, like we said, 5-year anniversary of the goalie fight game. I remember being at that game. There was a huge snowstorm that night. I had a terrible drive home, but it was almost worth it because that was one of the most. The Flames lost 8-3 ultimately, but. Dude, that was part of history that night, man.
Pinder said he misses Mike Smith?
He's being a dickhead.
Jeez Louise.
Pinder misses Mike Smith so much he's just like trying to look like him over the past few years, I think, eh?
Maybe frozen. Are we back? Are we back?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you there?
It's so cold that we froze.
Sounds about right.
So let's wrap things up with this. I will ask you the weekly question. I guess 2-part. First part is, do the Flames make the playoffs? And part 2, what side of the fence are you currently on? In terms of, are you team tank or team playoffs?
In my heart, I'm team tank, but at this point, we're too far into this thing that we have to be team playoffs. So I will say they make the playoffs. I'll say Vancouver is too much of an absolute shit show. And I say Dustin Wolf leads us there, just like Johnny did 10 years ago, man.
Dustin Wolf's going to lead us to the promised land. We got time for one more super chats. K Close 09. Both new guys look gun shy tonight. Maybe some PSTD. Want to see Zary with Frost and Barry and Winter.
Hey, Zary and Frost, yeah. I'll be curious to see what they do with Zary if they put him back at center. Maybe they ease him in on the wing. But yeah, they did. I thought Farabee looked maybe a bit tentative tonight. I thought Frost maybe had a bit more confidence with the puck. So
yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining, and we will see you all on the next one.